What a blessing again to be with you. This is becoming so great, as there's so many of you that are interacting and telling us how the program is a blessing to you. Keep liking, keep asking questions, keep sharing what you're experiencing. It will also give us perspective of how we can zero into specific things that you as the audience needs to know at this point in time. But I'm going to start now speaking around the splitting of the covenants. And I took the last 2 days just to give some background, some foundation, just to provoke you a bit. But in Genesis chapter 12, and I'm going to quote specific scriptures, excuse me, as I will deal with this teaching of the splitting of the covenants. Genesis 12, 1-3, the Bible says, "Now the Lord God has said to Abram, leave your family, leave your father's house, and go to a place that I will show you." God says, "I will make you great, make you a great name, and through you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." He said to him, "I'll bless those who bless you, curse those who curse you, and through you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." Now, Genesis 12 is known as the Abrahamic covenant. So it is God. I want you to look at the covenant. Let's dissect what happens here. It is God looking for Abram. Abram is not looking for God. Abram is busy worshiping the sun and the moon coming from of the Chaldeans. God tried to get his attention, his father's attention, in chapter 11, but he gets Abram's attention in chapter 12. It is God looking for Abram. It is God putting all his cards on the table. It is God pursuing Abram. So then God then cuts a covenant with Abram. The Abrahamic covenant he cuts with Abram is what we can call a all-inclusive covenant, but it's also a one-sided covenant. Abram doesn't bring anything to the table. I want you to note how God stipulates the blessings. I will bless you, no condition, not if. I will make you great, not if. I will make you a great nation. I will make your name great, no ifs to it. And in you or through you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Then Genesis 15 verse 6, Abram now, for him to endorse the covenant and activate what God has put on the table, is to simply believe. And the Bible say, Genesis 15 verse 6, "And Abram believed God, and it was accounted to him as righteousness." So number one, his faith made him right with God. But the Abrahamic covenant is an all-inclusive covenant in this sense, that after God now told him, "I will bless you, make you a great name, make you a great nation, and through you all the families of the earth shall be blessed," he includes all of humanity. He said, "Through you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." That means all of us who are on the earth, who've ever been on the earth, who will still be on the earth, was part of the Abrahamic covenant. Because he does not say only you and Israel will be blessed. He says through you all the families will be blessed. So it's an all-inclusive covenant. But the Abrahamic covenant is also a corrective measure of what went wrong in Genesis chapter 2 when Adam fell. Because you have to look at what was the original sin committed in the book of Genesis chapter 2. Adam did not become a sinner because he smoked a joint. He did not become a sinner because he drank a bottle of brandy. Adam became a sinner because he disobeyed God, that equals unbelief. So we see then that the original sin in the garden was unbelief. So after man fell into unbelief, man could not redeem himself or find his way back to God. Therefore, the Abrahamic covenant in Genesis 12 is God taking the initiative to bring a corrective measure to what man has fallen from in the garden. Man fell into unbelief. God puts his cards on the table for man to be restored back to God and be made right with God. Man must simply believe. What is the opposite of unbelief? It's to believe. So man fell into unbelief. God corrected it by simply giving him a covenant where he can believe himself into wholeness, believe himself into rightness with God, believe himself into a relationship with God. So now we see then that what Adam fell from in Genesis chapter 2, God gave man restoration through the Abrahamic covenant by simply accepting the deal, if I can put it that way, that God has put on the table. So we know then that when he made the covenant with Abram, it was a covenant that was all inclusive. So if you take the Abrahamic covenant, when God now speaks again to Abram in Genesis 15, God told him, I will raise up a people, which is Israel. I will raise up a people for myself that will be in slavery for over 400 years. I will bring a deliverer that will take them out. So when the people of Israel came out of Egypt, the question now, and I will conclude, I will continue with it tomorrow. The question now is that when the people of when the children of Israel came out of Egypt, what covenant did God wanted to deal with them with? Just think about it. These are the first nation birthed out of promise, birthed out of what God told Abram, that he will be a blessing to all the nations, and that through him all the families of the earth shall be blessed. It just makes sense to say that the covenant God wanted to deal with Israel with was the Abrahamic covenant, which means that if they would simply believe what God say, the covenant would be activated. We're going to see tomorrow exactly what happened when Israel was supposed to enter the promised land, and Israel and God came onto a deadlock because the Bible say Israel did not enter the promised land because of unbelief. We will continue tomorrow. God bless you.